The FA Cup final is set to be played on Saturday, May 17th, with Crystal Palace facing Manchester City. The same night as the Eurovision Song Contest, BBC bosses are lobbying for another 3 p.m. kickoff for the FA Cup final due to a scheduling clash with the Eurovision Song Contest. The much-anticipated match between Crystal Palace and Manchester City is set to take place at Wembley on Saturday, May 17th, marking the pinnacle of English football's domestic season. However, the date coincides with the ever-popular Eurovision Song Contest, which will be held in Basel, Switzerland this year. Last year's FA Cup final began at 3 p.m., and the start time for this year's game will be announced shortly. The Song Contest, featuring 26 acts in the grand final, consistently draws high viewership for the BBC. This year, the grand final will even be broadcasted in cinemas nationwide, starting at 8 p.m. Graham Norton has been confirmed as the host for the 69th edition of Eurovision, with the group Remember Monday representing the United Kingdom. Remarkably, last year's Eurovision attracted over 8 million viewers, potentially causing a scheduling conflict if the FA Cup final extends beyond regular time. In the past, the FA Cup final has kicked off at 5:15 p.m., as was the case for Saturday's semi-final between Palace and Aston Villa, while the second semi-final between Nottingham Forest and Manchester City started at 4:30 p.m. This would not pose an issue if the match concludes within 90 minutes. However, if it goes into extra time or penalties, there could be an overlap with the start of the Eurovision contest and certainly the pre-show build-up. The BBC and ITV jointly hold the rights to broadcast the FA Cup final, which last year kicked off at 3 p.m. The Manchester derby saw United triumph over City in a match that attracted 9.1 million viewers. The traditional 3 p.m. start time is favored by both purists and fans alike, as it allows those based outside of London to return home post-match. If the game were to commence at 3 p.m., it would conclude by 6:30 p.m. at the latest, even if extra time and penalties were required.